Hey there. I'm kind of upset because I just made the first video and apparently it didn't save, and I was like almost 10 minutes of my life right there. So yeah, I'm talking about family acceptance this week. More or less kind of like what issues that I've faced or other people have faced, how do you deal with that, as in how do you cope, and just kind of how to keep going on. For me, I deal with a lot of, I don't have a lot of family members, it's just that they just continually misgender me a lot, so even though there's not as many of them, it seems that the less number, they just feel like they have to make up for it. I don't really know. Um, but my mom does misgender me the most. I think she's the one person who misgenders me the most and calls me by my birth name all the time. Like, it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, I know you're trying, but I really don't understand why every time you talk to me, every sentence is either bookmarked or ended with my birth name. Like, you didn't do that beforehand. It's kind of like, so and so, name, so and so, name. Oh my goodness, name. Did you see that name? Oh, girl, name. It's like continual. I'm like, you can keep saying my name all you want to. I'm like, but it's been legally changed, so you're not gonna recondition me back into that name. Keep trying. And I mean, I've been annoyed to the point where I'm like, you can keep on trying to reinforce me into that name, but I told you it's not going to happen. I've renounced that name. Please stop. And, it tends to be a process. Um, a lot of the issues that I just face with my family is just, they've gotten past the point in asking me, are you sure this is what you want? Because, like I said, I've gone through the legal process. I'm like, you can try and back out if you want to. I'm like, but they know I'm headstrong, so that's really not the best of options to fight me. Um, because I'm stubborn. But a lot of it is that I have to explain to them like I understand that you're working through your acceptance process. I was like, but there's a reason that I don't want to live here. And I'm like, because I cannot invite friends over without you misgendering me consistently. It's not even like an occasional thing. It's like every single pronoun. Then like most of the time, I'll be honest, I get, you know, my mom will get my pronouns and or my name right about 3% of the time. Everything else is she, her, she, her birth name. And it's continually exhausting because it's just like and you wonder why it is I stay on the opposite end of the house from you and I don't bring people in. And it's really just because it's like I really don't need this reminder. And I'm like every time, you know, when your family can't push to do it, like it's just really difficult. When your family isn't on board completely, other people come in your life and who are affected by that, it just keeps rebreeding this whole issue. So I was like, I get misgendered often, and I was like, and the people who tend to misgender me the most are the people who know me, which is annoying because I'm like, you know me, why in the world, so. Like trying to go get my surgery pre-surgical consult last Monday. We were there, and I'm glad. I mean, it's a good thing that the doctors knew, but she, everything was a she, her, birth name, birth name. And I was just like, how can I be excited about this event when you're consistently reminding me of this? Like, I'm trying, it's bittersweet. But I know it's part of her acceptance process, kind of like the stages of grief. It's her way towards family, or her version of family acceptance. Um, what One of the things that I have to acknowledge, because some people like go work out, man, listen to music, man, watch YouTube videos, man. I mean, it's great. Those are different things to take your mind off the situation at hand, but it's not gonna stop the frustration. At least for me, I know that. I was like, even if I do walk away and take time so I don't freak out in a ball of rage, it doesn't change the fact that the feelings will still be there. The same feeling, it'll come up at the same time, and if I don't find a way to address it or at least diminish it, then I'm gonna keep being at risk to basically lose my temper. And so I've been trying to come to terms with myself that when I change, in changing my identity, it has affected everyone around me, particularly my family. And so in changing my identity, they have to understand that they have to start to see their parts in how they formed my previous identity and see my now process of creating my own, but also every changes that I'm making makes them question parts of their own identity. And so that is helping me to understand that this is a hard process for them because they have to now ask themselves questions and they're going through their own identity exploration. And I got this awkward little shirt on underneath this. Um, so that helps me to at least just stop and be like, okay, I'm not going to get angry. Like, I'm gonna walk away. I was like, but I'm not gonna get angry about this. It's just too tiring. Um, Another thing I do when I'm dealing with my family is that I know that they're trying to accept me. They're just having a hard time getting there. Is that I do let them know as like part of the reason I do not like to go out in public with you guys is because you misgendering me in public can be a danger. And I know people have been like, oh, you're just overreacting. And I was like, no, because transgender people get killed every day. And I was like, the fact is like, look, I don't go into the women's bathroom. And I was like, and a woman can't bring a rape charge against me because I don't have anything to rape her with. Like, so most women, if they find out that, then they any encounters that really come with women is that unless they think I'm sexually harassing them, which seems to be a freaking theme around here, which I tell my mom and my aunt, you cannot misgender me. I'm like, because women, in some cases that I've had that were pretty much vindictive enough to go that far because they were angry with me about, it's a very long story. So I was like, you can't do this. I'm like, because some women will think that I'm a pervert if I accidentally bump up against them in the mall because there's a lot of people or something. And I was like, and if you say, oh, my goodness, my daughter didn't need to do that. I'm like, you do realize that they're gonna either think I'm a lesbian, I'm like, or from like mom, seriously. And I look and they see one thing and see another. I've had too many situations with things like this. I was like, please don't. But with men, males, I should say, there's this what the fuck you trying to fool me type thing. And some guys, they go off on trans women like, oh my god, I thought you were a woman, and that's a whole different story. But from my experience with men, they're like, you a bitch, you're supposed to stay a bitch. I'm gonna make you a bitch. You wanna be a man? And I'm like, you do realize I could be raped, I could be stalked, I could be killed. Like I tell them this. I was like, and that's slowly helping them to understand the seriousness of misgendering me. I was like, the world's not a pretty place, and you know that. And I was like, because of my gender status, you know, there are plenty of people who are like, oh, so you got these parts? Oh, so you trying to be a man? Oh, so you trying to step? And I'm like, no, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to go and get Chick-fil-A. Please go away. I'm like, when you misgender me, I was like, not only does I have, does all these things happen, I'm like, it could affect me getting a job. People around here talk, okay? I was like, Virginia Beach may not be the biggest place. I'm like, but I will tell you, people around here talk. I'm like, there are way too many things could happen in my life just from me misgendering me in public. I was like, I'm like, for my safety, please don't. And that's helping them to understand the severity of it, which I think which is what I do, is I try to let them know, like, I know you're coming to terms with accepting this, and I'm trying to come to terms with your process. I was like, but I need you guys understand. I was like, we have to come to some kind of agreement here. I was like, because my life could potentially be in danger if this is a problem and this is continued outside of this household. Like, I do worry about that. And so sometimes I sit down, I'm like, look, this is, what do we need to do to try to work this out? Also, these are the kind of things that I worry about, these are the kind of concerns, and this is things to watch out for. So the kind of ideas that I try to at least keep some kind of communication and or education, just to get an idea, like, please be careful. Um, which kind of, does that whole protective, I'm your family, I don't want you to get hurt, and I'm like, thank you. Thank goodness for that protection thing, and it's working on it. Um, so I try to at least remind myself that they're still trying to go through their process, but I have got to be able to maintain a certain distance from myself. So when I can tell that it's going to be too much, I'll be like, hey, I'm tired, or hey, I'm gonna go watch some TV, I'm gonna listen to some music. This is becoming too much for me right now. I cannot process this right now. Like, I'm living in it, I can't. Um, and we'll have to deal with this once I know I'm in a place for that. So a lot of it's just I try to assess where I'm at, and then sometimes just change the subject. If I can't walk away, I'm like, then can we just change the subject? Listen to some music. Can we just go watch a movie or something? Just something to keep it, because it's like way too many feelings at once. I'm like, I don't want them all to come out at once every time we have to have an argument or something. Um, and so for me, it's just trying to remember that helps me not get so quick to rise or get really depressed. And then I try to find friends to go talk about random stuff with. Um, I color. I've been coloring in like some coloring books just because I'm bored. Find things on YouTube, just take walks. I like to take walks. I mean, some people exercise, Sometimes I just like to take a walk and just enjoy the universe and just chill out, enjoy the universe, find random fun facts about things I didn't know about. Something that I know would be different, that I could find some kind of joy in, doesn't have to be trans related, try to find something that's gonna create a more balance so that I feel like when I go to sleep I didn't have a horribly horrible day because I argued with my parents for like 5 hours straight, so I can at least find something for me that's fun. So, you know, I guess my biggest coping mechanism is just trying to understand and be patient, as well as acknowledging my difference and my need for space, and keeping a certain distance until this whole we can start getting through the acceptance process, till we get to the better part of this process. It's just trying to find a community to talk to. So I actually gonna hope that helped, and I'm gonna go wish you all a happy New Year's and go be lazy somewhere. So you all have a nice night.